Hello, welcome back to Mancinima. Hope you're all keeping well on these cold evenings as we head up to that horrible period that's known as Christmas. Are you like me? Do you absolutely get fed up at Christmas movies? All that schmaltzy schmuck, stuff like Love Actually, White Christmas, Elf, Daddy's Home 2. Yeah? Well, come with me and I'll give you an alternative Christmas. Some darker, creepier movies to watch over Christmas time. But before we take that journey, if you can give this video the thumbs up, if you could subscribe to the channel, and if you can hit the notification bell, we'll be on our way. Let's take a look at a darker, alternative Mancinima Christmas. So let's ease you in with things first off. One of my absolute favourite movies of all time. I saw this movie in 1993 in Hollywood at the El Capitan Theatre. It's labelled Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's actually Henry Selick who directed the movie, and it's a fantastic movie. Little Jack Skellington, he's the king of Halloween Town, he's the Pumpkin King, and he's ruled Halloween Town every year, and they all celebrate, all the creatures come out, and they count down to the next Halloween as soon as the last one's finished. But Jack's getting a little despondent. He's done it for so long, he's so popular, and he's basically bored. So he goes for a wander out into the forest one day and he comes across all these different trees. And there's an Easter tree, there's obviously the Halloween tree, there's a something or other tree. But then there's a tree that he hasn't recognised before, and it's the Christmas tree. So he opens it up and he falls inside this Christmas land. And he's looking all around. He's surrounded by kids with presents and people singing and doing things jolly, and there's snow which he's never seen before. And this gets Jack excited for the first time in many years. So what he wants to do is he wants to take Christmas Land and bring it into Halloween Town and do his own version of Christmas. And that's when things go drastically wrong for Frank. It's a very endearing film. It's a lovely movie. It's got some beautiful songs in it. The animation is absolutely top-notch. It's an all-time classic. If you can see it in the cinema, when it's on at the cinema, sometimes they show it in 3D. And if you see it in 3D, it's post-converted, but it looks lovely. Otherwise, just watch The Nightmare Before Christmas. Absolutely amazing film, highly recommended, and the first one on my alternative Christmas list. The second one on my alternative Christmas list is another all-time classic. Now, I fell in love with this film when I was a kid. There was two movies released at the cinema in Christmas 1984, and those movies were Ghostbusters and this one, which was Gremlins. Now, Gremlins is amazing. Billy's dad gives him a little mogwai, which is it's almost like a chinchilla type creature for Christmas one day, and he takes it from a little Chinese shop, and there's warnings that come with it, do not show it bright light, do not feed it after midnight, and do not get it wet. Of course, over the course of the movie, these three rules get broken, and when you get a mogwai wet, it multiplies, and if you put it in sunlight, it dies. If you feed it after midnight, it produces gremlins. Now, gremlins run rabbit throughout the whole of the Kingston Falls town. They send an old lady up on her chairlift up through the roof. They riot all over the town. It's up to Billy and little Gizmo, the mogwai, to stop them. Fantastic movie, very funny, very dark story about Santa in the middle, but highly recommended. So these two movies, you've got The Nightmare Before Christmas and Gremlins, you can watch with your kids, but the next few movies on, I'd say probably put them to bed and watch these ones on your own, because we're going a little darker still. Let's start off with one which wasn't intended to be too dark, and that is Batman Returns. Now, we had Tim Burton's Batman in 1989, massive hit, Michael Keaton as Batman. Batman Returns comes along, it's a little darker. The Penguin is very scary looking, Catwoman is very violent with her whips, there's buildings being blown up. I remember there was a band scene where Catwoman takes a lot of aerosols, puts them in the microwave, turns the microwave on, and that blows the building up, and they cut that scene out because they thought kids would be influenced to do such a thing, because they probably would, kids. And yeah, but otherwise than that, great movie, great action, looks beautiful with all the snow over Gotham City. What can I say? Batman Returns, actually 30 years old this year, and you might be able to see it at one of your local cinemas. It is getting a re-screening, so go and look at your local cinemas for Batman Returns. And that's the next film on my list. Right, let's go a little bit risque with this one. This one's Trading Places. A very, very funny film. I'm not sure if it was the second Eddie Murphy movie. I think it was. I think it was after 48 Hours, and Yes, it was after 48 Hours, but before Beverly Hills Cop. So Eddie Murphy plays a down on his luck homeless man, and these two old boys come along and they decide to wager a bet that they can get him up into the higher echelons and become like a big money earner, and to take Winston, who is Dan Aykroyd, and put him out on the streets. And of course the two of them get together at some point, rumble the plot, and decide to turn the plot on the old men. Very funny, fantastic performance also from Jamie Lee Curtis. The reason this is on this list is because she does actually take her top off and you see the Jamie Lee Curtis boys, if you know what I mean. And yeah, very funny film, very fantastic comedy, set at Christmas, really enjoyable movie. John Landis it's directed by, so there you have it. That is Trading Places, and that movie came out in 1983. Right, one movie that everybody over recent years has been calling a Christmas movie, although it minimally features Christmas, in my opinion. There's another one that I'll talk about in a minute that is better. Is Die Hard. Of course, everybody goes to see Die Hard at Christmas time. The movie takes place at Christmas time. It's a Christmas party in the Nakatomi Plaza. Terrorist break-in led by Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber. And it's up to Bruce Willis running around, no socks on, little white vest, up in this building to take the terrorists out on his own because the police don't believe him, and, you know, that's how it is with the police. So yeah, we all know Die Hard is a classic. Fantastic movie, again quite dark, quite violent, not one for the kids, but it is a Christmas movie. But this next one I'm going to talk about is even more of a Christmas movie. It even starts off with the song Jingle Bell Rock. Now can you think which one I'm thinking of? No? Well, it's Lethal Weapon. A lot of people don't mention Lethal Weapon in the great debate of Die Hard is a Christmas movie and, you know, this is a Christmas movie, but Lethal Weapon is purely a Christmas movie. Like I say, it starts off with Jingle Bell Rock. It's the opening song on the beginning of the film. You see Mel Gibson running around shooting in a Christmas tree lot when he's doing the drug deal with the people, when he's pretending to be a drug dealer. Great, fantastic movie, superb performances from Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, great chemistry between the two characters, really fun film. Went on to spawn 3 other movies, but there is another one, I believe, being directed by Mel Gibson coming up anytime. I don't think he's started it just yet, but he's been actively talking about it since Paul Richard Donner died. Mel's going to be directing Lethal Weapon 5 at some point in the future, so look out for Lethal Weapon 5. But Lethal Weapon, the original, absolutely classic movie. It's a Christmas movie, it's got Christmas trees in it, it's got Jingle Bell Rock in it. Go and see it. Right, now we're going super dark. I saw this movie at Fright Fest in 2016, and it starts off very well. There's a young boy, he's being babysitted by a bunch of teenagers, and it looks like he might be threatened by them at some stage, but then it goes very dark. I'm not going to tell you the plot of this one beyond that, because I want you to watch it, because it really does spin it on its head. If you think Home Alone goes Hostel or some other kind of gruesome movie, you're on the right tracks. Yeah, I mean, you know Home Alone, the scene with the paint can, when he puts the paint can on the string and swings it over and knocks the two fellas over. It's that, but much more intense, and it just gets darker from there. Better watch out. Fantastic movie. It's been out since 2016. It's one of my favourites. One of my favourite Christmas alternative movies. Go and check out. Better watch out. So the next movie on my alternative Christmas horror movie list for you is A Christmas Horror Story. A Christmas Horror Story was released in 2015. I saw it at Fright Fest. That was a long time ago, and I can't remember too much about it, apart from that I really enjoyed it. From what I do remember about it, it features William Shatner at the beginning of the film, and he's like a radio DJ. He's putting a late night shift. Everybody's kind of out doing their Christmas thing, and he's stuck alone in this room in his DJ console talking to the public. And he's getting calls coming in saying there's a disturbance at the mall, and there's a disturbance here, and there's a disturbance there. And we spin away from William, and we find out what those disturbances are. So those break up and make up the tapestry of the 3 separate stories. There is a thread that kind of links them all together from memory, and then it all ties up at the other end. I remember it being really enjoyable. I remember it being shown late at night at Fright Fest, and we all seemed to have a good laugh about it. It's always nice to have those kind of movies late night at Fright Fest when you've had some of the heavy hitters. But yeah, A Christmas Horror Story I thought was really good, really enjoyable. So I'm sure you can get it on DVD from various different distributors. So the next film on my alternative Christmas list of movies for you is Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now, I only saw this a few years ago and I absolutely fell in love with the movie. It's really, really funny. It's really, really dark. It's really grisly in places. The story basically concerns a young boy who sees his parents dragged out of a car and murdered on Christmas by somebody dressed up as Santa Claus. Now, he grows up with a bunch of nuns and is looked after by a bunch of nuns, and then he becomes an adult and goes out into the adult world. But he can't get rid of this idea of people being bad and being punished for being bad. So he then takes on the guise of a killer Santa Claus, and he takes out his revenge on anybody he deems to be doing sinful or horrible stuff. It's funny, it's cheesy, it's cheaply made, but I somehow enjoy it. It's a funny film. I enjoy watching it at Christmas time. It's one of my go-to Christmas movies. So that's Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think it's out on Arrow, but I'm not sure if they still hold the license for it, but if they do, go check that out. Otherwise you might be able to find it on a streaming service somewhere. So the final film on my alternative Christmas list for you is absolutely one of the best. It's Bob Clark's 1974 Black Christmas. Now, Black Christmas, a lot of people say, is the predecessor to Halloween. A lot of the style of the stalking and the moving around of the camera is very reminiscent of what John Carpenter later did in Halloween. Of course, I much prefer Halloween, but here we go. Black Christmas concerns a load of sorority girls who are going home for Christmas time. Some of them are staying in this big sorority house, some of them are leaving and going home to see their parents over Christmas time. And those that are staying in the house decide to have a bit of a get-together, a bit of a Christmas drink, until one of the girls goes missing. And then they suddenly find out that they're getting strange phone calls, really creepy, funny voiced phone calls from this guy called Billy. And they later find out that Billy is actually lurking within the walls of the sorority house. Very tense movie, got some really creepy moments, really scary moments, looks fantastic. The cinematography is that typical 1970s hazy kind of look in places, and I think that gives it a fantastic flavour. Really did enjoy this film. Like I said, it's from Bob Clark, 1974. I'm sure you can get it on all kinds of different streaming services and all kinds of DVD and Blu-ray and all that kind of business. But yes, I highly recommend Black Christmas as the final film on my alternative Christmas list. So you've had 10 there. 10 alternative Christmas movies, so you don't have to put up with all that schmaltzy stuff that other people like to watch. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope some of those you can go and have a look at. I know this is a bit of a laugh, really. I mean, obviously we all enjoy a Christmas movie, but those are some of the darker ones that are out there, and I don't know if you might have known about them. So yeah, I hope you'll go check those out. If you've enjoyed this video, if it's given you some ideas for some movies to watch that aren't schmaltzy, please give the video a thumbs up, please subscribe to the channel, please hit the notification bell. You know all this off by heart by now. You've watched my other videos, haven't you? Haven't you? And please come and chat with me down in the comments. I mean, if you might have some alternative Christmas horror movies or Christmas movies that I don't know about, and I'd love to hear about those, so please come tell me in the comments and maybe I can go and check those out. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great Christmas. If I don't see you before, I probably will because I've got a couple more videos to come. And I'll speak to you all soon. Take care.